welcome to the Fresno Music Sampler, ladies and gents. Long time no see. We're glad to see you back here again. I've been so sick. Thank you for sticking with this show despite all the hurdles it's been through over the last month. But we're glad you're tuning in to find out about the latest and the best in the Fresno music scene. And tonight we have a great guest with us tonight as we have his first live appearance here on Central Valley Talk, perhaps anywhere, and we'll be the first when he becomes the next big thing in America. So welcome to Saul Ramirez, who's here to talk with us, See, this is how you know I'm back, because Lauren Baker can't do a show without stuttering, as you can tell. So we're here with Saul Ramirez, who's here to share with us his music and why you should know all about him. So welcome, Saul.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We're happy to have you here, and welcome to a show where I can't say one sentence without fucking it up. So do tell us what kind of music you do, Saul.
I'm actually not sure of that. Based off of what people have told me before, I have this raspy, bluesy type of music style that actually switches up depending on my mood of the song, because sometimes I could write a song that's, for a girl and lovey-dovey, and then there's sometimes I could write a song that's kind of like in-your-face type of song. So it all depends on my taste and emotions.
I like that. It's kind of like a fun, creative time, I think, in any type of artist's life when they're still on the path of discovering what kind of artist they want to be, for sure. What would be some of your musical influences?
Musical influences?
If you can even narrow that down.
I would for sure say Ed Sheeran would be up on that list, on top for sure, number one. Now, recently, James Bay also. Okay. And I would say those guys are pretty influential. Most of those acoustic guys. It's also, a lot of those just acoustic people, anything acoustic, even people who make covers, like Boyce Avenue, I love their stuff. Oh, gotcha. So I like acoustic and natural as possible. That's my favorite.
Nice. Now, you're fairly young, and I know that you told me, behind the camera that you're really just starting out. Like, how long have you been really taking the next step?
Okay, well, I had a performance. My first performance was actually last Thursday.
How cool!
At an art hop, and I got asked the same question, and that day I said that it's been 2 years. And after I left home, my dad was like, "You haven't been playing for 2 years. You've been playing for a year and a half or so." So I guess it's been a year and a half or so that since I started actually playing the guitar seriously. I started when I was in 9th grade, around there, and I knew 4 chords for about 2 years and a half, almost 3 years. And I only stuck to those chords, never got out of there. And eventually, I started playing the guitar more seriously, started actually making up my own chords, and eventually I figured out that those chords that I made up were actual real chords.
Oh, nice.
So, just basically by ear, I taught myself, sitting in a room, trying to mimic certain, like Ed Sheeran sounds, trying to mimic certain artists' sounds.
That's the best way to learn, man. I mean, I don't remember which philosopher said it. Could have been like Copernicus or like Aristotle, but someone said something where like the masters aren't necessarily the ones who went to school for it, but rather the ones that take the time to learn it for themselves. And I think that's so true, because you're not doing it on someone else's timeline. You're doing it because you actually want to do it, and that's exactly how a lot of artistry type talents are formed, is by mimicking the ones that influence us.
And then of course I added my own little twist. There's certain things that, of course, not every artist is perfect. No matter how amazing they are, they have their little tweaks that isn't going to sit well with somebody else. And in that case, I have my little tweaks that I tweak certain things from artists and want to fix things, or not necessarily fix them, but change them to make them my own. And I started writing music and lyrics 6 months ago.
Nice.
And actually, it was a year ago. I wrote my first song a year ago.
And what was that song about? We don't mind us asking.
I really don't talk about it as much, but it was. I went on I went on a trip to Mexico over the summer, the last summer a while ago, and I had barely started playing my guitar. I took my guitar with me actually, and I was just jamming out with myself and whatever. And I was talking to this girl over the summer, and
summer love.
It wasn't just summer. Also, we were talking before that, and I was actually really into her. And it wasn't like I was in love with her or anything like that. It's just that, once you find that person that you feel like is a really close friend to you, and, someone you talk to on a nightly basis whenever you have something wrong with you, you form that connection. It could have very well been about a dude, a friend, a very close friend. So
just a genuine connection.
Yeah, this song was actually about a girl, and it was romantic in a sense that I had gone to the trip to Mexico, and when I came back, the first thing I see is on Instagram there's a post and the post is her posting of her 1 month anniversary with her new boyfriend. So I remember that day there was an Ed Sheeran concert on TV. I was just flipping through the channels, and I was like watching it, and I was like, okay, that guy. I was listening to the lyrics and trying to really take them in, and I was like, this guy is speaking to us through his music, and it's getting to me. So why can't I do the same thing? And I'm not really a good person when I'm not good at confessing my emotions or speaking about them or talking about them or trusting people in that sense. So I was like, might as well trust the guitar and myself, pick a book up and start writing and see where that goes. And I wrote my first song, and it's just taken up since. Ever since then, I felt so addicted to the fact that there was actually something that could listen to me whenever I needed it, whenever I wanted to. Just pick that book up. Like, my guitar is never going to say no, I don't want to hear you. It's never going to be on the phone. If I want to talk to my parents about it, which I do talk about them about a lot of things. Sometimes they could be busy and I can't just go up to them and ask them. Or my best friend, sometimes he's on his phone with his girlfriend, or
Yeah.
I can't just go up to him and say, so my guitar is there whenever I need it, so is my book, and that's just the way I talk to the guitar and get feedback in the form of music.
I like that, actually. Like, whatever your special little outlet is always there for you.
It's always there for me.
So would you say that moment not only catapulted like your interest and your talent for songwriting, but would you say that was the moment that really made you want to take music in general seriously and make it a thing?
Yeah, there was actually a lot of other things that led up to that. Music has always been a huge part of my life. My dad, he has this large collections of CDs, so ever since he was younger, he collected music, so that's kind of in our blood, in a sense. Music is a huge part of our lives, so ever since I was a younger kid, it just, helped me through a lot of things. For example, I moved to Mexico when I was younger, and most of my English was completely gone. English was gone, and Spanish was my first language. I had only spoken Spanish at home, and I moved to Mexico, and that just completely took English away from me.
Fascinating. I didn't know that could kind of disappear, no matter what the language is.
Yeah, it just kind of speaking Spanish every day, and it was just I just lost it almost completely. I could say certain things and defend myself, but I lost it. So I came back to the U.S., and the way I learned English was through music, songs, and not just that. Songs, they talk about how to get girls, how to live through life and things like that. So that was another way of, me learning how to get through, American culture when I had been in Mexican culture for a whole year. So
Yeah.
that got there, that was sort of the starting point. And then I started taking, I was in band fifth grade year at Sunset Elementary School. And also my elementary school was dual immersion. It is still dual immersion. It's Spanish speaking school. So again, Spanish was pretty much the only thing I was being taught. And I went to band there, and I got into 7th grade at Computech Middle School, and I tried band for a week, and I tried advanced band, and that didn't work. And I just because that transition wasn't, all those kids were amazing players, and band just wasn't my taste. And I had been in piano for 3 or 4 years with a lady named Susan Berg, pretty much the first teacher when it came to, actual teacher that I've had when it came to music.
Laying out the foundation.
Every single little detail. And I had played piano for 4 years, I think, around there, and I learned a couple of pieces, which most of I forgot now. And I just stopped music after a while. Music, I was just more of a listener after that, after all that, 7th grade. And then 9th grade hit, and my dad was playing guitar one day, and I just go up to him, and I said, "Dad, teach me some chords." And he taught me 4 chords, the simplest chords every guitar player knows. And anybody who's a guitar player is watching this is going to know what chords I'm talking about. The simplest chords, and I learned them right away. My dad was actually extremely surprised because, like I said, I stuck to those 4 chords for 2 years and never forgot them. I would play guitar once and stop. 3 months later, play again. I never forgot the chords. And my dad was just like, "Oh, it took me a while to get those. How did you get them so quickly and not forget them?" So
His little protege.
But no, Fada J that's way ahead of me.
Don't flatter me, Lauren.
But yeah, ever since, I never really put too much thought into it, but then that summer came and I was like, hey, this could actually be something. So I guess I'm going to take music seriously as an actual thing that I can use, not only for myself, for benefit of myself, but benefit of others, because if I can eventually get to the point where I make it in the big times or the mainstream, and there's this little kid who came from Mexico who doesn't know any English, doesn't have any friends, doesn't know how to get into a girl's heart or speak to people, and I can help them out with a certain, because music is language.
Yeah.
It's a language that's very universal, and if I can speak to him through my music, I'm all for it.
Would you do both English and Spanish music?
I actually do write English and Spanish music.
Okay.
I have a couple of Spanish songs that.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to talk more with Saul about his first experience performing in front of a live audience on Art Hop Night. So stay right here on CentralValleyTalk.com on the Fresno Music Sampler. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to the Fresno Music Sampler live here on CentralValleyTalk.com. I'm your host, Lauren Baker, and we're here talking with Saul Ramirez, who's an upcoming artist here in Fresno, California. And today we're talking a little bit about his career and like how he got started, and we wanted to talk a little bit about his first performance last Thursday out at Art Hop. I'm pretty sure that was Art Hop. So tell us where you performed and how that experience was for you.
My best friend Isaac Torres, his brother Andrew Torres, is an artist, so that's actually a shout out to him. So if you guys want to buy any art, Andrew Torres, he's an amazing artist actually, and he goes to these art hops on a monthly basis, and he asked me, hey, I guess he's a really big fan of my music. I post videos on my social media, so he's seen me there, and he's been saying like, hey dude, when are you gonna record music? When can I download your stuff? So he went up to his supervisor, or the lady that puts on the art hops, and he asked her, hey, can you watch these videos and see if you want him to play for us? So I guess she said yes. She saw the videos and she was like, yeah, let's have him play for us. It'll be great if he plays for us. And so I went to play. I played an art hop in Fulton Mall.
Okay.
Fulton Mall. So it was a pretty nice experience. I mean, we had a DJ and I set up before, and I got a little stage to myself. And there were other performers after me, and there was none before me. I was actually the first performance, and I performed at 6:30 around there.
Pretty good time.
Yeah,
People are already coming out there.
Yeah. And to be completely honest, personally, I felt, when it was all over, I felt disappointed in myself because I don't know when I play my music, I'm a perfectionist when it comes to it. Like, my music has to be perfect. Like, it has to be right on. Like, I've been playing with a metronome lately because someone told me that if you play with a metronome, it'll help you out. With getting that perfection. So I've been playing with metronomes, and I try to get everything perfect on beat, everything to start at the right time, sound the right way. So that day, the nerves just got to me, and my voice cracked a few times. My looper sometimes wouldn't pick sounds up because of the feedback of the speakers from the DJ. My looper would pick up certain sounds that I didn't want it to pick up, whether it be a crowd, chanting or whatever. And that just, to me, I know that I could have done a whole lot better. I could have gone through the whole show without making any mistakes, which I did make mistakes. And the way I make my music, I'm talking about this looper, and the looper is something that it records my sounds, whatever it is, whether it be my voice or my guitar, and it loops it. So if I make a mistake, it's going to loop the mistake over and over and over. So if my voice cracks in something, you're going to hear that voice crack over and over and over.
I guess in that sense, that would be sucky. Because, I mean, I would say almost every band that starts out has, like, a crappy, not that I'm saying I agree, I did not see it or anything, but I think most bands start out that way. I think even, like, one of my favorite bands, My Chemical Romance, their first show they had to play drunk because they were so nervous. I think some of them weren't even facing the audience because they were so nervous. At least you can say you didn't do that.
No, I'm 16, so I don't have that option.
That's true. Don't drink and drive, kids. We may be, fiends here at Central Valley Talk on occasion, but we do not condone underage drinking and the like. But I am sorry for encouraging you momentarily.
It's no way.
But it could have been worse.
It could have been worse. It could have, because if it weren't, I guess I did, for people, there's people out there, like if it were professional, he would be like, ugh, like that was gross. If someone who had everything perfectly down, someone who knew what they're talking about in his music, when it comes to music, they would have said something like, oh yeah, dude, that wasn't that good. Like, and it, more for me, since I understand myself and my own music and my artistry and how well I can do, and I know my limits, and I know where I can get it wasn't the greatest, but it got me this. I got business cards from people. I got possible gigs other places. So I guess I did do a good job, but I just personally I feel like I could have done a whole lot better.
I know we're always our own worst critics in that sense, but I mean, again, could be worse. You could have been Ashley Simpson circa 2005 on SNL, where she was caught lip syncing her own stuff, and she only was like, all she could do was dance because she couldn't like even remotely like pick up the pieces after that moment when everyone caught her. But I mean, at least you were actually singing.
Yeah, at least I was up there. Yeah, that's what my dad says. It's like you don't know how much it takes for somebody to just go up there by themselves. No matter what you're doing, even if you're just talking, reciting a poem. And in my case, I was playing my guitar, keeping beats up, making music, singing, and there's just all this multitasking. And when I do put it into that perspective, I am proud of myself.
Oh yeah.
Even if it's my first time, like for it being my first time, I didn't, throw up or anything. Yeah. I didn't, run out crying or anything. It was just I took it as like I went with the flow. When I would mess up, I would stop and be like, because I have to restart the loop if I mess up. Otherwise, the whole song is completely put to waste. So I would start and I would, try to, make a joke out of it, because that's just the best way to, get rid of awkwardness is try to laugh at it.
Yeah, and you got the first time out of the way, so it can only get easier, in theory, from here.
Yeah, and I had friends there, and that girl that I wrote the first song about was actually there. But I wasn't nervous because of that. I was just nervous due to the fact that first impressions always mattered. And that was my first impression as an artist, and I take my artistry very seriously. So if I just feel like if I mess up and someone never sees me again, they're always going to have that mentality in their head, oh, that kid is not the greatest.
Aw, you can't think about that, because, I mean, my first show here wasn't anything I necessarily would be like, let's judge it, make a whole, assumption that that's how it's always going to be. My first show here was corny as hell. Jeez. Like, I mean, I tell really bad jokes anyways, but I mean, it was a very special brand of Lauren Baker corniness, but, and I stuttered even more than I did today, so it can only get better, to be honest. It can only get better. That's the theme of tonight. It can only get better.
Yeah, and I have come to peace with that, because it's been a week. It's been a week since then. Yeah. And I have had a lot of time to reflect, and you can ask my parents that I always do this, but usually when I go into my room, I have a room where I play my music and I film my videos, and I'm in there for 4 or 5 hours a day. I finish my homework as quickly as possible, and I just sit in there and work on stuff. But before, it wasn't really as much as perfecting it. It was more like having fun. I would jam out, and maybe the way my music comes about is I'm playing a song that I've already written, or I'm playing an artist's song, a famous artist's song, and I make a mistake, but the mistake sounds great.
Oh, so kind of like jazz in a way. It's built on improvising.
Yeah, so I kind of work from there, and I get distracted very easily. I could be halfway done with the song and make a mistake, and the mistake actually sounds good, and start a whole new song. But ever since then, every day I just go in there and practice and practice and perfect and perfect and perfect. So you learn things, and I'm learning. So that I can't really think about that first performance as much, and I'm trying to perfect it for December, because December, Sandra, the lady who actually put on the art hop, she said that she would like me back for December, and December is when the big shots come, the radio producers and things like that. So
that's awesome.
I have to be perfect, and
that eliminates my next question, because I was going to say, even though I know it's like really soon, but you never know, and that kind of answers my question in the sense of, do you have anything else planned? And you're already booked in December.
Yeah, I have art hop every month till December.
Is it always going to be the same place?
It's going to be the same place, the same street. But the thing is, I didn't really understand, because I'm not really a part of that. Maybe throughout time I'll understand. But from what I understood, there's 2 places where they have art hop, and they have this big old hall basically, and that's where I was this Thursday. That's why they really wanted me to go this Thursday, because a lot more people go to the hall, and it was a bank. You know the bank?
Was it the Pacific West building?
I think it was.
So. Probably so. That's a good place.
Security Bank, something like that.
Yeah, it was probably that one.
For Security Bank, and the lowest, the ground level part that's the big hall.
Gotcha.
And the vault is the other part where they have art hop.
Yeah, well, there's all kinds of places that art hop, like art hop is all over downtown and in here in the Tower District. I mean, those are 2 like really good places, albeit for art hop. I mean, every place has like something special, during our hop. Like, you never know what you're going to find. And we have a whole show about that once a month as well. So we won't divulge too much on that. But if you want to learn more about our hop and its culture, tune in every first Thursday of the month at 2 o'clock on CentralValleyTalk.com. But anyhow, that's really awesome, though, that for your first show, you were at a really prestigious, kind of like a historical landmark here in Fresno, because everyone knows that building. And not everyone gets to perform there. Like, it's not just anybody who can walk in and do that. You gotta, like, have the chops to kind of be, allowed to play there. So that's actually a pretty cool accomplishment.
If you put it into that perspective, I'm pretty proud of myself in that sense, where I'm just some kid out of Fresno who barely started, and, there's just all these things that are coming my way, and I got offered a studio to record my music already. And
wow.
A friend of mine, his uncle, they worked some things out, and I'm learning the ins and outs of recording. Maybe I want to start my own studio, buy my own.
Yeah.
Actually not by myself, because I don't have a job yet. But my dad, my dad's very supportive when it comes to music, and so is my mom. My mom, pretty much my whole family, because a lot of my family were there that Thursday, and they're very supportive of it. So my dad, if you need anything, I'll provide.
That's good.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're going to cut to commercial in a few minutes, but before we do that, can you tell us a little bit about the song you're going to be performing tonight?
The song I'm performing tonight is the song that everybody seems to enjoy the most of the ones that I've written. It's about the loss of, whether it be a friendship, a relationship, just not feeling understood by anybody because people just leave you and drop you. And I feel like a lot of music nowadays is very happy and outgoing, and and when those emotions, the sadness and the anger, they're only human, and we're human. We have to express them some way or another. So if it's through my music or through someone else's music or through just talking to somebody, you got to express them. So that's why I chose that song for tonight.
Awesome. And what a better reason to write a song and to listen to one.
Yeah.
So we're going to cut to a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to hear, by popular demand, Saul Rodriguez's biggest and upcoming hit here on CentralValleyTalk.com. Stay right here, and we'll be right back after these messages.
All right, how's everybody doing? Well, my name is Saul Ramirez. The host before said, I'm a guitarist, singer-songwriter here from Fresno. I'm 16 years old, and I wrote this song 3 or 4 months ago. I hope you guys enjoy it. I have this little device on the ground called a looper. Here, I'll just try to. It's this right here, this little box thing. And what it does is it records my sounds and loops them, and that's how I make my music. So I don't want you guys to think that I'm not playing any of this and nothing comes out of me. Every single sound is my sounds, my voice, my guitar. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. The song is called Don't Know. like what this would. I'll push till the so misunderstood. All my life, it's been the same way. Goodbye, see you later, that's all they can say. I'm tired of people telling me lies. So tired of people pretending to be on my side. So many blades in my back, I no longer feel pain. Oh God, when are you gonna clear up this dark rain? Whoa, whoa. Oh, whoa, whoa. 'Cause I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I can't seem to keep the people I love alone. Hey, it's not fair life, I'm with no instructions. I need so much help dealing with these emotions. I try to show people I'm worth much more. I try to show people I'm worth being adored. I try to do things and put up a fight. I have so much trouble seeing the light. I wanna feel like somebody's a reason. Hope for somebody to stick around for more than one season. Whoa, whoa. Oh, whoa. 'Cause I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I can't seem to keep the people I love along. No, it's not fair life, under no instructions. Oh, I need so much help dealing with these emotions.
Associate with Kelly Ramirez, and she is also a voiceover artist. Contact
welcome back to the Fresno Music Sampler here on CentralValleyTalk.com live. We're back with Saul Ramirez, who I deeply apologize to for saying his name wrong the entire show. Joke's on me, razzle dazzle, right?
At least had my first name right. That's what people always have. They had a problem with.
You know, I know someone with a name very similar to yours. There's an I in the front. It's Esau, so that's
Esau,
probably
yeah.
why it's just like a muscle memory thing. Like, that's not a strange name. I know that one.
Yeah, okay.
But you know what a great sound you have. Because I mean, I really wasn't sure what I expected to hear, but like it exceeded any expectations I had.
Thank you.
I had chills watching it on the monitor and stuff. And that was really amazing stuff.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you being on the show with us tonight.
I really appreciate you guys having me. I mean, it's pretty crazy that it's all new to me, and then I'm already on. While it's not a big deal, it's still such a big deal to me.
Yeah.
And it means so much.
No one would know that you're a new kid on the block, as they say, because you play and like even just here on our show, you're like a seasoned pro either way. Like no one would ever know that you've only been doing this for like a week as far as like performing goes. And that's just incredible to watch. And I hope that all of you have enjoyed watching him as well. And I'm telling you, this kid's gonna go far. And I don't know if anyone's asked you yet, but would you be among the first to just give me your autograph, even though it's in my planner?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a baby, but
Does it matter where?
No, anywhere is fine. I'm getting the first autograph. Maybe. I don't know if people do that, but have already done that. They're crazy if they haven't. But yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
At least I'm not one of those Walmart moms like, will you sign my baby, please? It's gonna wash off, but I'll remember it forever. Type thing. But thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
And I hope that you enjoyed your experience with us as well.
I loved it. It was fun.
And if you want to be a guest on the Central Valley Talks Fresno Music Sampler Show, email me at lauren@centralvalleytalk.com. The URL's right up there. Email anytime if you want to be a guest, or if you know somebody who could be a good guest. We don't care. We just want the next and the best in the Fresno music scene. We always love interviewing the cool cats here in town, and we want to keep promoting you, even if you're a venue and you just want to be like, hey, I got cool people playing at my place like Saul Ramirez, give us a shout out. We want all of you to be on this show. So without further ado, thank you for tuning in tonight. We hope you'll tune in again next week at this time on CentralValleyTalk.com live on the Fresno Music Sampler Show. And good night!
CentralValleyTalk.com